Good morning, guys. I'm going to be showing you today how to can a pork shoulder butt. Jeff found them on sale this week for 99 cents a pound, so he got me two. I'm going to be canning one up, and the other one I'm going to be putting on the smoker in another video later and making some barbecue. So I'll bring you along for both of those. Hope you enjoy and stay with me. Okay, guys, the first thing I'm going to do is take this out of the package and rinse all of the blood and all that off of it. Alright, I'm going to let that water drain off a little bit, and then I'll pat it dry and bring it to my cutting board. Okay, I've got my pork dried off. I'm going to remove some of this extra fat, but what I'm just going to do is cut it up, kind of like I did the venison, in about a little bit bigger than maybe 1 inch size chunks to put in the cans or jars. You can have a little fat, you just don't want a whole lot, because pork's going to be fatter anyway when you can it, so you want to kind of get rid of some of what you can when you're trimming to begin with. You don't have to get it all, just cutting back on some of it. Alright, I'm just going to start with a chunk right here. Shift that a little bit. Then we're going to just start cutting into sections. And I'll do sizes about like that. And I'll put it in my other pan over here, and I'm just going to keep doing that. And this is a little extra fat, so I'd cut that off. And then cut those up. And like I said, I'm just going to keep doing this until I get this cut up. When I do, I will bring you back for the next step. Okay, guys, I hope my audio stays good. I broke my mic, so we're going to do this without it. I'm going to keep the bone, and the one that I end up smoking, I'll use it too, and I'm going to end up and make some stock with that. But for now, I'm just going to move this out of the way. And we're going to start loading our jars. A bit too full with that piece. You want it up to about the 1 inch headspace. And I'm just going to keep packing them like this. I'm not going to put any liquid in it. It'll make its own liquid. I'll do one more. You just want to pack them pretty snug. And there again. Alright guys, I'm going to keep doing that till I get the jars filled, and then I'll bring you back. Okay guys, I'm going to clean the rims of the jars off to get any fat off. I'm cleaning it off with vinegar so they'll seal. Vinegar kind of cuts through the oil or the grease that's on the jars. And like I said before, I'm not going to be adding any liquid to these because the pork will produce its own juice. Now we're just going to put the lids and the rings on. And everything's cold. My water in the canner's cold. The pork's cold. We're doing cold to cold to cold. If I had par-cooked this pork and it was hot, then we'd probably add a little liquid to it, and our water in the canner would be hot, so we would start off with everything hot. So let me get a couple more lids, and then I'll bring you back when I get to the canner. One thing I want to show you with your rings is not to crank them down. You want to just do them finger tight. So like just turn, 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 and you meet where you meet resistance just a little bit further and stop. If you crank it down, you take a chance of getting too much pressure in the jar, and you may have siphoning because the pressure's too tight. But just finger tight. If you think you got too tight, just back it up just a hair. But again, you just put it on, finger, that stopped, and just a little bit further. Just tight enough, but don't crank it down. Okay, I've got 7 quarts on the bottom. I'm gonna put the second rack in, and we're gonna have one more pint and a half a pint jelly jar. And we're gonna put our lid on. All right, the lid's on. As always, we're gonna do across from each other, but not do them tight till we get them both up. Start tightening them down. And then the last two. All right, we're going to let this go till we get steam from here, and then once we do get steady stream, we'll do that for 10 minutes. I'll bring you back. I got steam coming out, so we're going to let that go for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been a high steam. I don't know if you can see it. I'll get over this way a little bit. But it's time to put the weight on. We're going to put on for 10 pounds of pressure. And we're going to wait for that to get to a steady jiggle. And this will be here around between 10 and 12. That's where it usually will set. I'll bring you back once we get up to pressure. Okay, we're a little about 10 on the gauge, and we're just having a steady jiggle a couple times a minute. So we're going to do that for 75 minutes, and then we'll take them out. All right, our time's up. I'm going to turn the heat off, and we're going to let it get down to 0 pressure. Okay. Oh, guys, this smells so good. Oh, they're popping before I can get them out. Okay, here's the pork out. Some of them are boiling like crazy. This smells so good. I can't wait to be able to get to eat some of it. I'm tickled. Okay, all my jars sealed. So I'm going to take the rings off and wash them in some good soapy water to get all the grease that got to the outside of the jars. You don't want to leave that on because you don't want any bugs or anything like that getting on your jars. Okay, I'm going to just rinse this jar off. At the bottom. Rinse it. And then we're just going to put it back on the towel to dry without all the grease on it. Okay guys, I've got my jars washed and labeled and ready to put on the shelf. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.